Hey everybody, Chris with UpNorthAirGunner. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. This is what I am calling my Airforce Alamo project. It's a little play on the words of the Texan. So when the Texan 257 was announced, I got a little bit antsy. Still waiting for the 257 to arrive. But I got to thinking, this new ring lock valve that Airforce came out with, that they announced at ShotShow, I'll tell you what, my early testing with this thing, with the 49 grain slugs, this thing was just screaming out of that barrel. It was a 24-inch, 25 caliber barrel. And I'll tell you what, that ring lock valve has got a lot of secret sauce going on the inside. Obviously, they've focused on the ring lock aspect of it, where you can increase the diameter of the actual top hat to control how much air that you're letting out. But I definitely think there's some improvements going on the inside of that valve as well. So anyway, I had some great success with the 49 grain, 25 caliber slugs. And so I just got to thinking, if I went out and found a 257 barrel in the same specs as the Texan, which is a 34-inch barrel with a 1 in 14 twist, well, if I put it on this valve, I wonder what it's gonna do. But man, I'll tell you what, this thing has blown me away. I am getting between 915 to 950 feet per second on a full fill of 3,000 PSI, totally stock. I haven't done anything to the valve at all. Basically, it's just got the biggest top hat orifice on it, paired it with a 34-inch barrel, and bam. I mean, basically, I'm shooting at the same power and velocity that the new Airforce Texan 257, at least the specs that are out there on the website. I mean, who knows, maybe, well, actually, whenever people get them, they may find they're actually more powerful than that. But the specs that Airforce has on their website, this thing is shooting almost exactly at the exact same power and velocity. So I'm shooting an 87 grain cast bullet that I made myself, and these things are pretty damn accurate. What I want to do today is just to do a little bit of velocity testing, show you my setup, show you the accuracy, and really show you what you can do with, if you've got an Airforce Condor, you can go out to companies like Lethal Precision or Wicked Air, Brian Ware or Jim Gasca. So you can go out to any of those companies and they can make you a 257 barrel and then easily swap it out. So you've got a pellet barrel and then you've also got a slug barrel. So anyway, pretty excited about this. I just wanted to share with you guys. Sorry about the shaky cam. I only got my cell phone today. Yeah, let's take a look at the setup. So here it is. So basically what we have here is a Airforce Talon SS frame. What's really awesome about the Airforce lineup is it's pretty much all modular. You can swap barrels, you can swap bottles. There's manufacturers out there making custom stocks. So yeah, this is the Mad Dog Recon stock. This is a little bit of the lighter weight, kind of more of the hunting version that Doug over at Mad Dog Custom Rifle Stocks just came out with. Absolutely fabulous hunting and also a bench setup. His Ranger, which is a little bit beefier than this, get on his website, check it out. This right here is literally my favorite stock. I love the way it looks. I love the way it shoots. Little kind of feature here. This is pretty awesome right here. He has a adjustable butt plate where you can take out these plates and kind of adjust the length of pull that you have to your trigger. A couple features on this stock that I added myself. So Doug he can put some Picatinny rail on the back and the front, so that way you can put your accessories. So what I decided to do is I went out and got an AccuShot monopod. This thing right here is absolutely awesome. I will never shoot with a bag in the rear again. The micro adjustments that you can do with this is pretty awesome. And then obviously the 5H Atlas bipod up in the front, super beefy, probably overkill, but it's pretty darn stable. So on the top here, we've got the Hawk Sidewinder ED. Absolutely beautiful clarity through this scope. So it's got the TMX reticle that I absolutely love. Today I'm using the FX No Limits rings. A lot of the problems sometimes you'll run into with this setup is that you don't have enough elevation adjustment to crank your scope. And you really want to keep your scope as optically centered, where you're not really cranking those turrets too far up or too far down. So I really like using these FX No Limits rings to keep everything really optically centered with the scope. I've got it tethered here to an Air Venturi 4500 PSI bottle with the Huma external regulator. This is the adjustable one. Check out one of my other videos. But yeah, this right here it's basically, if you're into tuning air guns, that setup right there is a must-have. You can basically increase it or decrease your pressure and kind of tighten up your groups, find out what kind of pressure your projectile likes. So, okay, yeah, so here's the barrel. I literally just got the barrel like a couple of days ago. Swapped out the 25 caliber 24-inch pellet barrel that came with the gun. Threw in this barrel here. Eventually, I'm going to put a carbon fiber sleeve on this. Maybe nothing else than maybe to aesthetics. It'll look really nice, but that's such a long barrel with no support coming out of the frame. I think I'm going to want to stiffen that up just a little bit. So far, the accuracy doesn't really seem like it needs it. Right now, I've just got the one of these limb saver deresonating donuts, just kind of plugging the hole there. But yeah, there it is, 34 inches. It is a 1 in 14 twist. It is a TJ liner from TJ Enterprises. And Jim over at Wicked Air Rifles basically did all the machining work and crowned it for me, turned it down so it'll fit in the Talon. And yeah, I mean, I'm getting between 915 to 950 feet per second. I have found that if I crank it down to about 2750 to 2700 PSI, that's where my groups are the tightest. So at that pressure, 87 grain Spitzer hand cast bullet that I made myself is flying out at about 915 feet per second. Now, if I crank this all the way up to 3000 PSI and I crank the power wheel all the way up to 12, I'm getting about 955 feet per second. So again, like I said, that's at least from what I'm seeing on the Air Force website, that's actually matching the new Texan 257 specs. So that's why I'm calling this the Air Force Alamo project. Okay, so enough talking. Let's see what this does accuracy-wise. I apologize for the single camera setup today. I just got my phone. So I'm just going to slide it here into my Hawk spotting scope. I'll tell you what, if you're into air gunning, especially shooting some of these smaller calibers, 25 caliber and lower, this thing right here is absolutely amazing to see where you're hitting at 100 yards, especially if you're shooting like 22 or 177. Those holes are so small. But with the spotting scope at 60 power, so you can zoom right in and see those holes. So it's a lot easier instead of having to go back and forth to your target at 100 yards. So anyway, I'm just going to slide the camera into my spotting scope here, and let's see what we can do at 100 yards. So I know a lot of you guys are going to want some video proof, so let's kind of go through some actual video evidence of how this is performing. Again, this is just a stock Airforce Airguns high flow ring lock valve. We're going to be set on a power wheel setting of 12. That's cranked all the way out. Okay, so my pressure is at we'll call that right at 3000 PSI. Maybe 2980. All right, here we go. Airforce Airguns. This is the Talon SS with a 34-inch 1 in 14 twist barrel. Codename Airforce Alamo Project. All right, here we go. Woo! Okay, so those are the last few slugs I had. Mid-900s like that, totally stock valve from Air Force. No need to monkey around with it. So that's pretty awesome. An Airforce Airguns, just factory valve paired with a 34-inch barrel, can produce that kind of velocity and energy and accuracy. I mean, this thing's absolutely amazing. So just to wrap up and to have a little fun with this, let's see how fast this can sling a 33.95 grain exact King Heavy from JSB. So yeah, so these are 25 cal, and this is a 257 barrel. You know, it's gonna be pretty loose in the barrel, and we're just gonna see what it does. I'm not sure what it's gonna do for accuracy, but for let's kind of fun. Let's sling a couple of these and see what it can do. All right, so there it is, the UpNorthAirGunner Airforce Alamo project, I guess is what I'm calling it. 34-inch barrel on a Talon SS frame with a high flow ring lock valve. Now that's a critical part of this. If you've got an older Condor or an older high flow valve, they are still super powerful, but whatever they did and whatever they released at ShotShow In this new ring lock valve, these things are absolutely off the charts powerful. I mean, I thought the AirForce high flow valve before was just an absolute just monster as it was, but this just takes it up to an absolute higher level. You can pair it with a custom barrel, or even if you just get one of the regular AirForce barrels at 24 inches. So just that increase in size in your barrel, let's say if you're shooting in one of the SS models, which is either gonna be a 12 inch if you're shooting like a Talon SS, or if you're shooting the Condor SS, it's an 18-inch barrel. If you take that barrel out to 24 inches, that's gonna give you so much more velocity. And if you pair it with one of these new ring lock valves, I'll tell you what, you are going to have an absolute tack driver monster of an air gun on your hands. I love mine, I love all mine. I'm an AirForce believer, and you should be too. Thanks for joining me. This is Up North Air Gunner. Thanks a lot.